Listen, ladies, you don't have to run after a man for him to see your worth. You don't have to prove anything to someone who's meant for you. See, the biggest mistake women make is thinking that chasing love will bring love closer. But the truth, real men chase value, not attention. When you start loving yourself, protecting your peace, and walking like you know who you are, something changes. You move different. You talk different. You carry a kind of energy that makes a man stop in his tracks. A man can feel when a woman has standards. He can sense when she's not desperate for validation. That's what wakes his instinct to pursue. Because every man wants to feel like he's earning something worth keeping. You got to stop giving a man boyfriend benefits when he's only offering friend energy. Stop explaining your worth. Start showing it through your boundaries. You don't chase him. You chase your purpose, your peace, your goals. That's when he looks at you and says, man, she's different. Because the woman who's focused on herself becomes magnetic. And when you pull back from chasing, that's when he starts running after you. Not because you played games, but because you respected yourself enough to walk away if it wasn't right. Listen, ladies, you don't have to chase a man to make him see your worth. You don't have to run after love or prove that you're good enough for someone to stay. The truth is, when a woman starts focusing on herself, her peace, her goals, her confidence, that's when everything changes. Men are wired to pursue. It's in their nature. But they only pursue what feels valuable, what feels rare, what feels like it can't be easily replaced. When you start valuing yourself, a man can sense it. He notices it in the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the way you no longer tolerate the things you used to. That quiet confidence becomes your power. Most women make the mistake of chasing attention instead of building attraction. They call too much, text too much, check in too much, trying to keep his interest. But all that does is take away the mystery. A man can't chase you if you never stop running toward him. When you step back and let him come to you, you give him space to realize your value. Because real men don't chase what's easy. They chase what's worth it. When you stop overgiving and start observing, that's when he feels the difference. He starts wondering where your energy went, why you're no longer always available. And that curiosity pulls him toward you naturally. You see, there's something powerful about a woman who knows she's enough. She doesn't explain her worth. She doesn't argue about it. She just lives it. When a man feels that it challenges him, it makes him want to rise up, to match her energy. But when you're always chasing, always explaining, always trying to prove that you're the one, you take that challenge away. You become predictable, and predictable isn't exciting. You want him to earn your attention, not take it for granted. So stop giving him the benefits of commitment when he hasn't committed to anything. Let him work for it. Let him show you consistency. Let him show you effort. When you stop chasing, something beautiful happens. You start attracting. You attract better energy, better people, better outcomes. Because now your focus is on you, not on whether someone is texting you back. You're investing your time into things that make you grow. You're healing, learning, evolving. That shift in your energy makes people want to be around you. It's not about manipulation. It's about elevation. When a man sees that your happiness doesn't depend on him, that you have your own life, your own joy, your own dreams, he starts chasing that light. He wants to be part of it. The biggest flex you can have as a woman is peace. When you protect your peace, when you stop reacting to every little thing, when you move with calm confidence, you stand out. You stop competing with other women because you're not playing that game anymore. You're too focused on your own lane. And that's when the right man notices. He sees you as someone different, someone who doesn't need him, but chooses him. That's powerful. That's rare. A man can sense when a woman's energy is genuine, when she's secure within herself. That's what draws him closer. He starts putting in more effort. He calls more, plans more, invests more, because now he's the one who's afraid to lose you. He's the one wondering if he's doing enough to keep your attention. You didn't force him to chase, you inspired it. So when you stop chasing, when you pull back and let go of control, you give him the chance to step up. And if he doesn't, you'll still be fine, because your worth isn't defined by his pursuit. You'll keep shining, keep building, keep becoming the kind of woman who doesn't chase love. She attracts it. Because the moment you stop chasing him is the moment he starts chasing you, not out of ego, but because he finally realizes you're the kind of woman he doesn't want to lose. A man chases what he feels he could lose, not what he already has full access to. When you make yourself too available, too giving, too ready to please, he doesn't feel that challenge anymore. The truth is, men are hunters by nature. They want to earn what they have. They want to feel like they had to put in some effort to win your heart. But when you do all the work, when you're the one calling first, planning everything, always trying to fix things, he stops investing because he no longer has to. You've already made it too easy. That's why when you pull back, when you start showing that you're okay on your own, something shifts in him. He starts thinking about you more, missing you more, wondering what you're up to. That curiosity turns into pursuit. Every woman has a natural power, and that power lies in her ability to be selective. When you stop giving your attention to every man who gives you a little interest and start holding yourself to a higher standard, you automatically stand out. Men can sense when a woman values herself. They can tell when she won't tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, or half-hearted effort. That kind of woman becomes rare, and rarity creates desire. You don't have to say much. Your actions speak for you. When you respond slowly, stay calm, and don't react emotionally every time he pulls away, you show emotional maturity. And emotional maturity is incredibly attractive. It tells him that you're not desperate, you're discerning. A man will test boundaries to see what he can get away with. That's not always intentional, it's instinct. But when you show that you're not easily swayed, that you won't chase or beg for attention, he starts realizing he has to rise to your level if he wants a chance with you. You're not punishing him. You're teaching him how to treat you. A man will always value what he has to earn. The moment you stop trying to prove your worth and simply live it, you flip the dynamic completely. Now he's the one thinking about how to keep you, how to impress you, how to make sure he doesn't lose what feels special. There's a quiet confidence in a woman who knows who she is. She doesn't argue, she doesn't chase, she doesn't plead. She just observes. And that silence makes a man curious. He starts to realize that your energy has changed, that you're not easily moved anymore. He'll start asking questions, checking in, trying to figure out what's going on. That's not manipulation. It's natural psychology. The energy of detachment creates space for desire. The more you center your focus back on yourself, your goals, your happiness, your growth, the more attractive you become. Because you're showing that you don't need him to complete you. And that independence is what pulls him in deeper. When you step into your self-worth, you don't have to play games. You're not pretending to be busy or acting like you don't care. You genuinely have a life that fulfills you. You wake up and chase your dreams, not a man. You pour into yourself instead of constantly giving your energy away. That's what changes everything. A man feels it when your world doesn't revolve around him. It makes him want to earn a place in your world, not take it for granted. And when he finally realizes that your love is not a guarantee, that your time and energy are a privilege, he starts chasing you, not because you demanded it, but because your presence feels like something rare and worth fighting for. The power was never in chasing him. It was always in knowing your worth. When you understand that, you stop begging for love and start attracting it naturally. The right man will always chase what he respects. And when you respect yourself, that respect becomes the standard for how every man approaches you. When you understand your value and stop giving it away too easily, everything changes. You stop needing constant reassurance because you already know who you are. You stop waiting for his text because you're too busy building your own life. That kind of shift creates a completely different kind of energy, and men can feel it instantly. A woman who moves with confidence doesn't have to say she's confident. It's in the way she walks, the way she speaks, the way she sets boundaries without guilt. She's not afraid of losing a man because she knows losing someone who doesn't see her worth is never really a loss. That kind of mindset draws people in naturally because it shows strength, independence, and emotional balance. The problem is that too many women think love means overgiving. They think if they just love harder, do more, stay longer, it'll finally make him see their value. But love isn't proven through sacrifice alone. It's proven through balance. When you do everything for him, you take away his need to contribute. You start carrying the relationship by yourself. And that's when the energy shifts. He stops putting in effort because you've already taken over his role. That's why stepping back is so powerful. It reminds him that you're not the only one responsible for the connection. When you stop overextending, it gives him space to realize how much he values you. Men chase what they respect, and they respect what has boundaries. When you have standards, it doesn't push a good man away, it attracts him. It shows him you know your worth, and that you're not afraid to walk away from anything that doesn't align with it. You don't have to yell, argue, or convince anyone to treat you right. Just stop showing up for those who don't appreciate your presence. That quiet action is louder than any speech. When you walk away from disrespect, you show strength, and strength is deeply attractive. A man will chase what he fears losing, and when you pull your energy back with grace, not anger, not attitude, just calm self-respect, he feels it. See, when you focus on yourself, you glow differently. You start to take better care of your mind, your body, and your peace. You look happier, more fulfilled, more alive. That's when he notices. That's when he starts chasing, because now he sees you as someone who doesn't need him but chooses to have him. Men are drawn to women who don't depend on them for happiness. When you make yourself the prize instead of the pursuer, the whole dynamic changes. You become the energy he doesn't want to lose. He starts thinking about how to keep your attention, how to stay in your life, how to match the effort you once gave so freely. You have to understand that detachment is not coldness, it's clarity. It means you care, but you also care about yourself. You're not closing your heart, you're protecting it. You're not punishing him by stepping back, you're respecting your own energy. When he feels that shift, it makes him realize what you brought to the table. Sometimes it takes silence for a man to hear your value. When you stop explaining yourself, stop justifying your feelings, and stop fighting to be understood, your absence speaks louder than any words could. That's when he starts thinking, reflecting, and realizing he had something real. And when he finally comes back around, it's not because you begged or chased. It's because he saw what life felt like without your energy in it. The difference between chasing and attracting is self-respect. You don't chase what's not matching your effort. You simply let go and trust that the right person will see your worth without you having to lose yourself proving it. When you do that, when you focus on your peace, your growth, and your purpose, you'll find that the man meant for you won't need to be chased. He'll naturally come toward you because your energy, your confidence, and your peace will draw him closer every single time. The moment you stop trying to convince a man to choose you, you take your power back. You stop chasing validation, and instead, you start radiating confidence. You begin to understand that your worth doesn't come from someone else's approval. It comes from how you see yourself. When a woman reaches that level of self-awareness, she becomes magnetic. A man feels it when your energy no longer depends on his attention. It makes him curious. It makes him want to understand what changed. And in that curiosity, he starts chasing. Because now you're not the same woman who was always available, always trying, always waiting. You've become the woman who's focused, fulfilled, and at peace. That kind of woman is unforgettable. A man can tell when a woman has standards. He might test them. He might even pull away to see if she'll compromise. But when she stands firm, calm, graceful, and sure of herself, that's when he realizes he can't play games anymore. He knows he has to step up or lose her. Men may not always say it out loud, but they deeply admire a woman who knows what she deserves and refuses to settle for less. That strength doesn't scare the right man. It inspires him. It makes him want to be better. It makes him want to meet her at her level. When you stop chasing and start choosing yourself, you teach him how to value you. You teach him that your time, attention, and affection are earned, not owed. Sometimes pulling back is not about playing hard to get. It's about protecting your energy. It's about realizing that peace is better than proving a point. When you stop explaining why you deserve respect and simply remove yourself from situations that don't give it, your silence becomes powerful. He starts wondering why you're so calm, why you're not reacting, why you're not fighting anymore. That stillness is strength. It's not weakness. It shows that you've reached a place where your emotions no longer control you. You control them. That emotional control makes a man see you differently. It's not about indifference. It's about maturity. You're showing him that your happiness isn't up for negotiation. When a woman truly values herself, she no longer feels the need to chase anyone. She starts realizing that the right man will make effort without being pushed. The right man will be consistent without being reminded. The right man will respect her boundaries without testing them. And the wrong man, he'll fall away naturally because he can't match that energy. That's the beauty of self-worth. It filters people for you. You no longer have to guess who's serious and who's not. Your peace and confidence do the work for you. The men who can't handle that energy will fade, and the one who's meant for you will rise to meet it. You attract what you believe you deserve. When you believe you deserve effort, love, and consistency, that's exactly what comes your way. But when you chase after people who only give you crumbs, you're telling the universe you're okay with less. The moment you stop doing that, everything starts shifting in your favor. You start getting attention from men who respect your energy because you respect it first. You start feeling more grounded, more in control, more fulfilled, not because someone finally chose you, but because you finally chose yourself. That's when a man starts to see you differently. You're not just another woman anymore. You become the one he can't forget because you didn't beg for his love. You inspired it. And that's what makes him chase you naturally. Not because you manipulated him, but because you reminded him of what real value looks like. You showed him that love isn't about pressure or pursuit. It's about presence and peace. The kind of woman who knows her worth doesn't have to chase. She simply lives in a way that makes others rise to meet her. And when you reach that level, love begins to chase you effortlessly, naturally, and with purpose. ChatGPT said, when you finally decide to stop over-giving, over-explaining, and over-chasing, you create space for real love to find you. You start to realize that you don't need to beg for someone's time or convince anyone to treat you right. You deserve love that flows naturally, not love that drains you. The moment you step into that truth, something changes within you. You begin to carry yourself differently. Not with arrogance, but with quiet strength. You stop moving out of fear of losing someone and start moving with confidence that the right person won't need to be chased. That shift is powerful. It's the kind of change that makes a man see you in a whole new light. A man is drawn to a woman who values her peace more than attention. When he senses that you're not desperate for his validation, it makes him want to earn your time. You become a mystery again, not because you're hiding, but because you're genuinely fulfilled without him. That kind of energy is rare, and rare energy attracts pursuit. Men are wired to chase, but not every woman triggers that instinct. The ones who do are the ones who don't need to. They're the women who are confident, graceful, and secure enough to let go of what doesn't serve them. They don't argue for attention. They command it through presence. The reason most relationships lose balance is because one person gives too much while the other gives too little. When you're always the one reaching out, always the one fixing things, always the one showing love without getting the same in return, you teach him that you'll always be there no matter what. But when you stop doing that, when you start matching energy instead of forcing connection, he feels it. That shift wakes something up in him. Suddenly, he realizes that your effort wasn't guaranteed. He starts wondering why things feel different, why your attention doesn't come so easily anymore. That's when the chase begins, because now he has something to prove. You have to understand, attraction isn't just about looks or chemistry. It's about energy. It's about how you carry yourself when you're not being treated right. Do you beg for love, or do you step back and protect your peace? Do you lower your standards to keep someone, or do you keep your standards and let them meet you there? A man respects a woman who can walk away when something doesn't feel right. That kind of strength isn't about pride. It's about self-love. When you can detach with grace, when you can say no to what doesn't align with you, you show emotional maturity. And that maturity draws in a man who's ready to give you what you deserve. Sometimes silence does more than words ever could. When you stop reacting, stop chasing, stop explaining, you allow your absence to speak. A man starts thinking. He starts remembering what it felt like to have you around. Your energy, your laughter, your care. He begins to understand that not every woman gives that kind of peace, that kind of presence. And when he realizes that he starts chasing, not because he's scared of losing control, but because he's scared of losing you. You didn't manipulate him into it. You inspired it by valuing yourself first. That's the truth most people miss. When you pour into yourself, when you fill your own cup first, you become magnetic. You don't have to try to be wanted, you already are. You attract people who want to add to your peace, not disturb it. And when a man feels that your love is pure but not desperate, strong but not controlling, he naturally wants to be around it. He chases that calm, that confidence, that authenticity. Because deep down, every man wants a woman who knows her worth. A woman who doesn't chase love, but becomes the kind of person love can't resist chasing. There comes a point when you get tired of proving your worth to someone who doesn't see it. You stop fighting to be understood and start realizing that the right person will already recognize your value. That realization changes everything. You stop sending long messages trying to explain your feelings. You stop chasing someone who gives you mixed signals. You stop waiting for love to feel mutual because you finally understand that real love doesn't require convincing. It's not about making someone see you. It's about seeing yourself clearly enough to walk away. When you're not appreciated, that's when your energy shifts. You move differently. You smile differently. You start attracting instead of chasing. When you pull back your energy, it's not to play games. It's to protect your peace. You've learned that silence is powerful. You've learned that distance reveals the truth. When you stop showing up for people who take you for granted, you find out who was there for you and who was just there for what you gave them. And when you pull back gracefully, a man feels it. He feels that something is missing: your warmth, your care, your consistency. That space makes him think, and for the first time, he starts to realize your true value. That's when the chase begins, because he finally understands that what you offered wasn't ordinary. It was rare. Men are drawn to women who carry peace, not chaos. When you start loving yourself more, setting boundaries, and moving with calm confidence, that energy becomes magnetic. You don't have to say much. You don't have to prove anything. Your presence does all the talking. A man notices when you stop reacting emotionally. He notices when you stop chasing him, when you stop checking in first, when you stop making excuses for his behavior. It confuses him at first, because he's used to your attention. But soon, that confusion turns into curiosity. He starts wondering why you're different, why you're no longer available the way you used to be. That curiosity turns into pursuit. The most powerful thing a woman can do is show that she's fine without him. Not pretending, not playing hard to get. Truly fine. When your happiness doesn't depend on whether someone calls or texts, you reclaim control over your emotions. You start living for yourself, not for validation. You invest your energy in your dreams, your growth, and your peace. And that glow, that peaceful glow, is what makes you irresistible. Men chase what they can't easily have, and when you're at peace with yourself, you can't be possessed or controlled. You're free, and freedom is deeply attractive. When you stop chasing, you give a man the space to step into his masculine energy. You allow him to lead, to pursue, to prove himself. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about letting him experience what it feels like to earn your presence. Because when a man earns you, he values you. When you make yourself too available, he doesn't feel that accomplishment. But when you have standards and self-respect, he understands that you're not like everyone else. You're not desperate for love. You're deserving of it. That difference makes him chase you, not out of ego, but out of genuine admiration. Sometimes the best move you can make is no move at all. Just step back, let things unfold, and trust that what's meant for you will always return with clarity. When a man sees that you can let go without bitterness, that you can walk away without resentment, he realizes you're different. You're not controlled by emotion, you're guided by wisdom. That maturity leaves an impression. He starts chasing not because you forced him to, but because your absence taught him something your presence couldn't. The value of a woman who knows her worth. And once he realizes that, he'll understand that no amount of chasing could ever replace the peace of being with a woman who's confident enough to stop running after love and strong enough to let it find her naturally.